The Little Sisters of the Poor is a beautiful order of women religious that serve the elderly poor in more than 30 countries around the world. Many of the people they serve are in their final years. Joyce Smiles, an activities assistant, and Regina Menacho, a registered nurse, both work with the Little Sisters of the Poor. They join us now to talk more about the caregiving field. Thank you both for joining us. Joyce, the Little Sisters of the Poor build a culture of life by nurturing the elderly and offering compassion for the suffering. In your 27 years working with them, can you tell us the impact family visits have had for those in your care?
Yes, I can. When the family visits come to visit their loved ones, they bring joy and they bring happiness there. They feel so loved. They're excited. You know, my mom came from such and such a distance to come here. They bring their grandkids, family members that they haven't seen in a long time. It's a pleasure to see that. I encourage them to come. My role when they come is to bring joy to them, to bring happiness, to enrich their lives and meet them at where their level is, and it is their quality of life, their dignity, and their care.
That's beautiful. Regina, as a nurse at the nursing home, you have a little bit of a different role, and the Little Sisters of the Poor, they rely on you here in Washington, D.C. because you're on the front lines of care for those at the end of life. You also cared for your husband before his passing.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn during your time caring for him?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And what a tremendous privilege and gift it is to accompany someone, my husband in particular, but any of the residents or any of the patients I've had through the years on their journey, their last time, their last hours, their last days here on Earth, and to assist them into the next life. It's always a great privilege. What's exceptional about the Little Sisters of the Poor, and I've worked in so many wonderful institutions with great, loving, kind people, but nothing like the Little Sisters of the Poor. It's such a collaborative effort. Everyone from the phenomenal, loving, kind nursing staff, the CNAs, everyone, the housekeeping staff, the kitchen staff, activities like Joyce, but nothing I've ever experienced like the Little Sisters. They come in to the room at the end, maybe the last 2 or 3 days of someone's, journey to the next life. They're in there. They are praying the rosary. They are divine mercy. They're singing. It's like choirs of angels. It's phenomenal. And as a nurse, you're in there with best practices. You're assessing the situation, assessing the needs of the resident or the family that may be there, but nothing. You're in a sacred. It's like hallowed ground. It's like this thin veil between heaven and earth, and the sisters are there. It's unbelievable. It's palpable. It's a sacred arena, and I tell you, there is nothing like that I've ever experienced in, as I said, in all my years. And they're a short time with the Little Sisters, but it's been the most edifying. And as I said, it's collaborative effort from every level, and just beautiful staff from all around the world. From
so
Africa, from the Philippines, from South America, the Caribbean, everyone is involved in this, and it's a tremendous privilege.
That's right. And Joyce, tell me a little bit about what it's like caring for strangers really quickly, and how that's transformed your life.
Caring for strangers brought me closer to God, to reach out, to serve, to do what God asked of me to do as a Catholic, to maintain their health. And like I said, their dignity is the most important thing, and respect, to keep them happy to the fullest of the days of their lives.
And you've talked about the throwaway culture before. How do you counter the message of the throwaway culture, Joyce?
Well, I pray over a lot of things that is beyond my call. Some things I can't handle, I just go into prayer, pray the rosary. I speak to a sister about it. So it's a lot of spirituality there that I have to cultivate to keep it moving and to move forward.
That's a beautiful example. Regina, there's a push for euthanasia. As a nurse, for those who are suffering incurable diseases, they're being given this option to end their lives. From your caregiver perspective, what are your thoughts about living out life to its natural end?
Oh, yes, it is. Only God gives and takes life. And I have tremendous compassion for those terminally ill patients that, I think that they're really, they're concerned perhaps there'll be a burden to a family member, or they're concerned about financial ruin, or I really don't think the onus is on necessarily their suffering, but suffering is so purposeful and the redemptive nature of it. And if they were given that insight, I'm telling you, I think that the practitioners, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they mean well, but they really don't understand that only God gives and takes life. And if they could just spend an hour in the hallowed sacred ground where the little sisters during that transition when they're assisting residents into the next life, I think that would change their world, and they wouldn't even prescribe that as an alternative.
It would change their hearts.
With that amount, it's really not about changing their mind, because they have that conviction that they're doing well. It's changing their hearts. And I think even the most hardened criminal, if you were in that room, even for 15, 30 seconds, you would have a massive conversion. So that would that's what they need. They need a short time with the little sisters.
Well, we all need some time with the little sisters. Thank you both for everything that you do and for this great conversation. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do, Montse.
Thank you.